Richie Rich Show.
Turn your fucking bright lights off!
Mate,
Your bright lights!
pull over. Pull over then.
Turn your fucking bright lights
What the
off!
fuck you gonna do about it?
Take your
What you
fucking
gonna do
seat.
about it, bitch? Hell no. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it?
Hey, what's up, YouTube? What's going on, everybody? Your boy, Trucker Richie Rich, reaching out from the home front. I'm sitting here because I find out my truck is still in the shop. So I've been home since last Monday. I came home to get some home time, and at the same time, I put my truck in the shop to get a PM, and I had a hub fan that disconnect, so they're replacing that. And it's taking them a little time, which sucks because I'm ready to roll, believe it or not. Ready to get back to this monkey chase. But when I'm home, I'm looking at some videos, and I got some opinions and stuff. You know, I was reading a blog, and a guy said, you know, trucking today feels like a modern sweatshop. You know, because you're working a whole bunch of hours and you're not getting paid for, and you're hustling and bustling just to make a dollar, especially now in this bad market. And, you know, I agree with the dude. It's rough right now, you know. But you got to look at the positive, you know. At least we still have a job somewhat. Might not be a high-paying job like it used to. You know, the weird thing, and I was sitting here reflecting, when I was a kid, well, not a kid, when I was in the early 90s, right? And in the 90s period, if you made $100,000 a year, you were considered rich. You know, $100,000 a year back then, you were a well-to-do family. But times have changed. It's like making $100,000 a year now almost feels like you make like $30,000 a year. It doesn't feel the same. And I know inflation has a lot to do with that, you know, and, you know, stuff, the changes in the economy. But I remember people able to take care of their whole families on a trucker salary. When I was a kid, my buddy, one of my buddies in school, his dad was a truck driver. And his mom didn't work. They had a nice house, they had a car, they had a pretty good family, you know. And I remember John, his name was John. And I always wondered, you know, wow, that's cool, your dad's a truck driver. But I didn't realize back in the day, truck driving was a really great job to have, you know. But now it almost seems like modern day sweatshop. It does, you know, it does. Especially how this fuel keeps going up and these lower rates. You know, I was looking at a dude's video on TikTok, and the dude posted a broker load going from Texas to I think it was Utah. I think the mileage was something like 1,400 miles, and they were paying $1,200 for the load. And dude called to see if that was the right rate. And when he called, the broker on the phone told him that he has about 10 people waiting to take this load. I couldn't believe it. You know, that's insanity. That's almost like 80 cents a mile, not even mention fuel, you know. You know, that's insanity. But who's damaging the trucking industry is the question. Who is damaging this thing? Is it those foreigners who come here and they work for cheap? You get about 5 or 6 of their cousins, buy a truck, 3 of them drive it at once, you know? Or is it just corporate greed that we are so starved right now that we'll take anything just to move, you know? And yeah, you could own your own truck, right? And don't have the overhead to pay for a truck note, right? But maintenance and repairs and tolls and fees for gas and license, those cost a lot of money. Okay, so I don't see how people can even take loads for 80 cents a mile as an owner operator. It just doesn't make sense, but they are doing it. But it brings me to my second thing here. I was watching some videos and I was looking at the Yellow Corporation. I'm a union guy. I was part of the Fraternal Order of Police union, and they're probably one of the better unions in the country, I think. That's why it surprises me that Teamsters are so weak these days, that the union really caused people to lose jobs. I was listening to some people talk and give their testament about the yellow thing, and that's just heartbreaking. I couldn't, well, when I first became a cop, right? I remember when I graduated from the academy and I showed up to my first duty station, and I said to myself, I want to retire this job. Like I'll work this job until I'm 65. I mean, I'm never leaving. And ironically, I only lasted like 12 years. It's funny how life does that to you. And then now I'm in trucking now, and at first I thought about getting me a union job, but union jobs are so funny here in the country in trucking because you got to start from the bottom and work your way up. And there's guys who've been there 30, 40 years. And I wasn't sure I wanted to do that, because I want a stable paycheck. A lot of the guys who work the union jobs, you work the extra board. So that means they may have work for you that day and they may not. They may send you home. And see, I didn't want to live like that. So that's why I kind of got into the public sector in trucking. And I don't know. It hasn't been the best, I guess. I think in the last 11 years that I've been doing trucking, it's had its good times and bad times, but it seems like the bad times are far outweighing the good times. Do you know what I mean? Like I was telling somebody the other day, they were asking me, do you still enjoy driving the truck? I enjoy driving the truck, but it seems less like an adventure now and more like a job. Do you know what I mean? Like when I first got into trucking, I used to go to California, the desert, the loads weren't so tight. It wasn't always a demand to hurry up and get there. You were able to drive and look at the scenery and kind of take it in for a little bit. Just as long as you drove your clock, you were good. But now it seems like just run this load here, run the load there. It doesn't seem as fun anymore. And I wonder if I should get out of trucking. I don't see myself getting back in a uniform. I did look at some of the deputy sheriff jobs around where I live. But I'm older now. And going back in as an older guy into law enforcement is just not the flex, Guys my age are desk jobs right now, and they're taking it easy. They're preparing for retirement. But it's funny how life throws left hooks and right hooks at you, and it changes your whole game plan, But do I think unions suck? Not all of them. But the ones I see in trucking and in the labor force, they do. They do. My brother's part of a union for a state government, and he was telling me that, they can save your job sometime, but more times they can't. The union lets upper management do what they want. Unions in this country are not the same as they were when they first got here in this country. I think back in the day, they were more beneficiary. Now unions to me, all they do is take your money and cheer you on as they're working for you. And they cause corporations to close down when their demands are not met. Working in America now is just different. Everything's just different now. It doesn't feel the same. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know how you feel. If you're watching my channel and you work for like Prime or any other carrier, you're pretty much in the public sector. And you know what concerns me about this public sector? You know, retirement and pensions. That's a thing of the past. You know, we're going to have a lost generation of old folks out here who are literally going to be up shit creek. You know, my brother's in the union for the state and as a worker. And he told me when he got in there, he was the last class to actually get a pension out of the state. So that means anybody after him will only eligible for a 401k. And to be honest with you, 401ks are trash. Pensions are better. If you have a pension, you're practically a millionaire. I'm not saying that you get paid $1 million every year or anything, but just the pension lasts as long as you do, you know? But now employers that got hip to the game and they're just giving people 401ks. And 401ks are trash. You know, they are. They might contribute to some, they may not. If you touch them, you get penalized. You know, I don't know. To me, they're trash. You know, a pension is way better. And I guess a union's whole purpose was to secure your retirement. You know, I'm uploading a couple of videos after I get done talking. One is a funny video. It's of a Prime driver and a Walmart driver having a cock measuring contest on the interstate. Two government guys fighting for positions. That's why, in a way, I am so glad that I don't have a governor on my truck, that I can just blow past that nonsense. But apparently, guys out here just dick measuring each other. I can't say who's right or wrong in this situation. All I know is that late at night, I do hate when guys have their high beams on. You know, especially I've been driving late at night recently, and they have their high beams on, and it's in the mirror, just magnifies that shit. You know what I mean? But to roll down the window and get into an argument with your fellow truck driver is a no-no. You know, my philosophy out here on the road is don't argue with anybody, because you don't know what anybody's going through. And especially now that, yeah, my bad, I got cut off. But yeah, don't be out here arguing with nobody on the road, especially now that we're going through hard times. You don't know when another person has reached their breaking point and decide to snap. Do you know what I mean? It looks like they were on Donner when they were pissing each other's, you know, tailgates off. And I had a guy years ago I worked with in Indian River lose his life on Grapevine, Interstate 5 out there. Interstate 99, outside of Fresno, I believe that is, or Bakersfield. He was shot and killed by another truck driver. So, you know, not saying that those guys will be in that kind of situation, but it's best to not get into a road rage incident when you're driving a vehicle. I'm surprised that they even did that to each other, but that's truckers for you, you know? That's why I try to avoid most truckers when I'm on the road, like, as far as like stopping and talking, because a lot of them guys, man, they be on some funny time, and I just ain't got time for it, you know? But I thought that was hilarious. But you guys gotta chill out. Anywho, hope everybody's doing well out here. I'm still at home, which it feels good to be home, but you know the role. If you're home, the wheels ain't turning, you're not earning. So I'm ready to get back on the road. I had to get into Peterbilt's ass a little bit about them taking their time. They're gonna tell me some foolishness about they had other emergencies they needed to attend to. Look, I'm a customer, okay? Get that shit done. It's a bullshitting. Anyway, peace and love. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm out. Hopefully next time you see me on the road. Peace.
Look around. Okay, across the street, we have a delivery truck carrying food to offices, construction sites all around. Sheetrock, where'd it come from? On a truck. Nothing moves without us. Many owner-operators now are homeless. They cannot afford to have a home. This is my home. I live with my truck, whether I stay in a hotel or I sleep sitting up in the driver's seat. This is my.
Exactly.
I've been here 30-something motherfucking years.
Yeah, I agree too.
30-something fucking years.
agree
You
too.
tell me I ain't got no motherfucking pension.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
And nobody tell me to calm my ass down.
I agree.
Fuck everybody tell me to calm down. God damn it. This is my motherfucking money y'all playing with.
Right, you're right, Dwayne.
Fuck that
You're right.
shit.
So this is what I'll say.
You gonna tell me how the motherfucking feels. Fuck that shit, man.
So this is what I'll
Fuck
say.
this shit.
Anytime the government
Analyze that shit.
bails out a corporation or gives some